And now I ask Ambassador Simona Miculescu to introduce the youth delegates from Romania, because we'd like to get some young people up here to talk a little bit about some of the youth events that are going on now. Ambassador Miculescu?
Absolutely, but before that, I would like to kindly thank my colleague Henry for all his dedication. And young men in this room, please have that in mind the first time you get into a barber shop, because I have the feeling that many of you didn't go there yet. So look at the barber shop in a different way from now on, due to Ambassador MacDonald. Well, what a pleasure. You gave me a very pleasant duty, Patrick, because, you know, for any national, and especially for any ambassador, the greatest pride that you can take is to introduce young people, brilliant young people from their country. And this is the case for Bianca and Luca. Bianca and Luca, please come to the stage. They earned to be here because they won a very tough competition in Romania for becoming UN youth delegates. And after that, they came here and they spoke on behalf of my country on the UN podium. And they did it wonderfully. And actually, I found in them some great allies in promoting, you know, all these ideas of the post-2015 development agenda that will affect us all. So there is no better speaker in this conference than, you know, young people. And I'm very, very proud to be able to introduce them to you and to tell them publicly, not only on Facebook, that when I look at them, I feel that the future of my country is in safe hands and will be in safe hands. And I'm thrilled when I think of that, because our heart here in the UN, all the hearts of the ambassadors beat for their countries first, and the flags of their countries. But now I'm getting emotional, so I will invite Luca and Bianca to talk to you a little bit about what they do.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Well, I think that they deserve some encouragement. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, and salute again. I am Bianca, and together with Luca, we are the Romanian youth delegates of Romania to the UN for this year. As you can see, we have a very cool ambassador. We are very happy to be able to say the word cool at UN, and she deserves it fully. We came here actually to pitch an idea to you. We want you all to want to be youth delegates yourselves next year, because we believe it's a wonderful opportunity. Some of you in this room, I think, already work for the UN. I hear a few of you are already privileged to be here, but most of you who are very young as 16, as I hear, which is terribly young, indecently young, yes. We want to pitch you this idea of becoming youth delegates. So that's the main reason for us being here. Before I go into my short presentation, too bad that His Excellency the Ambassador of Suriname left. I just wanted to say that I personally want to thank him for such great initiative. The He for She campaign, I think, made a world tour. I think people at my workplace, at your workplace, or in your school know about He for She, which shows how much strength and how much muscle the UN has to put very hot topics on the agenda and to make them become mainstream conversation and be discussed everywhere, which I think is yet one more reason to want to be part of the UN family. So let me move on with a short presentation of what the Youth Delegate Program is and how you can become a youth delegate yourself. I think it is, yes, already you can see this is the delegation of 2014-2015. Out of all member states of the UN, around 30 or 32 member states decided to implement the Youth Delegate Program. So they said, besides the senior delegates that we already have at the UN, we want some very young people to join them.
Senior but cool.
Senior but super cool, yes. Young in spirit always. So we are there together with His Excellency Ban Ki-moon and around 50 or 60 other youth delegates from around the world, mainly from Europe, but also from other countries. And this is an encouragement for all member states to implement such a program in their countries. I don't know if I press this. Does it go? All right. Okay, so what would be the role of the youth delegate? And I think these are the three main things that you can take home and consider if you want to apply. First is that you have a chance to have hands-on experience at the UN, which is a unique opportunity. To be honest, before coming here, all of us, myself and Luca and our previous delegates, are a bit inhibited and probably overwhelmed, thinking that the UN is this huge body that they can never, they can never touch, or they can never have a first-hand experience with. But this is an opportunity to do so and to understand how the UN works by being here. But you're not just being here as an observer. This leads me to my second point. You're here to participate actively. And my colleague Luca will explain more like how the previous week looked for us. And this will show you that you're not just a witness, you're not just witnessing the works of UN, but you're getting actively involved in it. And thirdly, you get the chance to be a link between your community back home, the authorities back home, and this great global decision forum that is the UN. It is a very privileged position to be able to connect all these dots, because back at home, as many of you and us as well, we are people who work in NGOs, in youth associations. That gives us great power, and we get involved at a very grassroots level. But being a UN youth delegate gives you much more muscle. It gives you much more expertise and insight, and I believe that's great. So that would be the role of the UN. Where will you be? What does it mean to be a UN a youth delegate, and how will you spend your year? Well, firstly, there are some episodes that you spend here in New York, and those would be participating at the General Assembly in October, in autumn, but also coming and joining the UN again in February for the Commission for Social Development and the ECOSOC Forum, and my colleague Luca will tell you more about it. But then again, you should not forget that youth delegates are representatives, and they're speaking always on behalf of their community back home. So most than anything, you are the voice of the people that you represent from your country. And I think this is important because you get the chance to express both the opportunities but the challenges that your community at home faces. And you get the chance to learn from other young people if they face similar problems or what are the solutions they found for these problems. This is just a snapshot from our first visit at the UN in October last year, having the pleasure to meet His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, and then being with all other young people from all over the world. Just a very short description of how you get to be a youth delegate from your respective countries. Obviously, the first step has to be taken by the governments of your country, but it can be actively encouraged to do so. And I hear that from next year, I'm hoping I am allowed to say this, in the letter from His Excellency Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, there will be a direct reference and a direct invitation towards member states to have a youth delegate program, which is particularly awesome. But then, of course, youth associations in your country can lobby to your government to implement such program. So probably you will go through a national selection process. In our country, this consisted of a written application, and you know the drill. It's essays, it's a cover letter, recommendation letter, all these things that probably we are all familiar with. And then out of all the people that apply, there is a semifinal with 10 or 20 people that made a short list. There is a group interview that is ending with a finalist, which in our case were 4. We participated in debates regarding UN topics, but also youth strategies in Romania. And finally, after a lot of emotions and nervousness, we were the ones selected to represent Romania. We can continue the conversation afterwards. I don't want to get into more detail, but again, I think this is a unique opportunity because you get to taste the works of UN in these 2 days at the Winter Assembly, and I think it is great. But then, if you want to taste more of this, and if you like it, you are more than welcome to apply as a youth delegate. Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing. I hope you take up this opportunity. Please take notes and take note. This is very important. Thank you so much. I think we are moving on now, and I wanted to invite...
And tell the governments in your countries that they should be part of this, because there are only 32 countries who do this. So we count on you. Thank you.
I was going to invite Ambassador Miculescu to wrap up there. I think if we are done, we are moving on. As you know, we started a bit late, and we are going to move on to our next presentation soon. But do you want to continue? Let's finish up then with our other youth delegate from Romania. Yes.
Yeah, sure. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? I'm pleased to be here, first of all, and I wanted to say that as we are more than almost half of the world's population, the time for action is really now. As my colleague presented, you had an overview on what the Youth Delegate program means. So maybe next year, hopefully some of you will be here instead of us, representing their countries. So I would like to present you the activities we had last week. First of all, we took part in the ECOSOC Youth Forum, and imagine yourselves being here on the halls of the United Nations, having meetings with high-level decision makers, and also negotiating, networking, or even getting to know people all around the world, young people involved as you are, and exchanging good practices. The ECOSOC Youth Forum brought together leaders from all around the world, and I can affirm that it has already become a tradition here at the UN. Also, it touched the aspect of celebrating 20 years from the adoption of a World Program of Action for Youth. More than that, the Commission for Social Development had the topic rethinking and strengthening the social development in the contemporary world. And it consisted of a substantive dialogue between the youth activists, the NGOs, the civil community, and also the high-level decision makers. As you have this opportunity, may I go back to that slide? Being here at the UN, you also have the opportunity to get actively involved in the works of these commissions. So most of our work is that we had last week consisted of having a speech in the name of our generation, so you can come here and expose the most pressing issues your young people face back home. You can also engage in dialogues with youth representatives, and at the same time, you can be actively involved in negotiations of the youth resolution. Some of the issues that the youth resolution covers, the one from this year, it encourages member states to develop comprehensive policies. It calls for member states to collect data, and it calls also for member states, as Bianca said, to involve youth in their national delegations. Because we already mentioned the MDGs, the Millennium Development Goals and the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, I would like to invite you to watch a short video in order to have a better overview on what these goals mean. May I click on it? Yeah, I was about to mention, thank you, Master, that this short video was made by the 17-year girl from Geneva. And it represents a very good perspective on how can young people be involved in this process of post-2015 Sustainable Development Goals. If we may press. Isn't it working? It's not working? It seems we have some technical problems. But anyway, we will. Right. I just want to continue by telling you that you are agents of change in your communities. I'm pretty sure that most of you here are involved back home at local, regional, or maybe national level, dealing with young people just like you. And I really feel the energy that young people bring here at the UN. Some of the other people that watch us right now or the last days, they say that we discuss a lot here at the UN. That it's good. It's the first step towards action, and we have to discuss more actually, because the youth issues are very pressing right now, like youth unemployment, and we have to discuss them in order to establish the next steps. We have to take action, and these Sustainable Development Goals, it's a pity that we cannot play that video, but these ones are the best shot we have. We have to get involved in them and ensure that in the next 15 years we can really shape the world we want. More than that, you don't have to stop here. You can start by telling your friends, your family, that these Sustainable Development Goals are our shot and our opportunity to get involved in shaping the future we want. Maybe you are afraid that your voice will not be heard, but actually your voice counts. And beyond this, talking about how to be an agent of change, don't be afraid to express your opinions, and you have the right to challenge your leaders. More than that, your voice really counts, and involving in this process, you can inspire others to do so. So we'd like to keep in contact, and if you have a further question, you can find us on our Facebook page, and also you have our email addresses there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And folks, we had a pre-YA event yesterday.